and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't covering my cloth.
What is up, YouTube fam? I was sitting here watching some episodes of The View, and every now and then I may watch MSNBC to hear what Joy Reid has to say. And then it occurred to me that how or why do we allow multi-millionaires to influence us, to make us feel that we're oppressed? These are people whose lives are not mirroring the lives of most Americans, of most people in the community, so to speak. But yet they sit on camera and compel you to think you're oppressed, as if they live your life, as if they have some vicarious understanding of the things that you deal with on a day-to-day, moment-to-moment basis in this Biden-Harris economy. And I just wanted to play you a few clips of some things that people have said to try and stoke the flames of the R word. Because of YouTube guidelines, I don't want to say anything that may be offensive to the community. But you know where I'm going when I say this. Let's take a listen to a few of these clips.
White parents who are tempted by these bans and thinking these are good for your kids, just interrogate for yourself. Why is it that you only are uncomfortable with books about Black people, Jewish people, and LGBT? You just interrogate that for yourself. You know, that's what critical thinking is. You know, it isn't dangerous. Critical thinking is good for you. Just interrogate and think about it for yourself. You don't think of yourself as racist or a bad person, but you're uncomfortable. But you're only uncomfortable with books about Black historical figures, the Holocaust, and LGBT. Just ask yourself that question. I'm just asking you to ask yourself that question for Black History Month, if you still think that that's legal to do. But also non-crazy, non-right-wing white communities who are saying, whoa, I don't think this is the team that I necessarily want to be on. We are 50 some odd days from the election. And by the way, because of early voting, people can make snap decisions about Donald Trump and Vice President Harris right now in states that are having early voting. So even if you want to take the morality out of it, and this is deeply immoral, ugly, disgusting, and to the Congresswoman's point, there used to be a time when there were signs that said no Irish. There used to be a time when Italians were considered lower white and not welcome in the United States. All of the immigrant groups in this country have had their time in the barrel. But Donald Trump wants to never let Black and brown folk up off the mat. He will never stop directing hate at them, at us, at people who look like myself and the Congresswoman. It doesn't matter what you do, how many of them are Republicans, how many throw on a MAGA hat, how many rappers hang with him. He'll never let that go because, as you said, Nicole, this is who he is.
Why do you think every election cycle, the mainstream media, legacy/state sponsored media, and their operatives always bring race some way, somehow into the equation? Remember back in 2020 what it was about, right? George Floyd. I don't want to get into the specifics of that, and the documentary Candace Owens that was not allowed to be published or seen in the public has a different spin on that. But let's move to 2024. Why do you think they always bring up race? Race is a divisive method to divide the community, to split our community. Because if you don't involve race, then there's a likelihood that the community may bind together and vote as one. But when you bring race into the equation, these are the types of things that happen. You're going to divide a whole community. You're going to divide households, if you can believe that. The way the media is stoking the flames of the R word is dividing households. And then they have the audacity to sit back and blame one individual for all of the divisiveness that's going on in America.
We both belong to the same sorority, Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, and we get what are called line names. I'm not sure if I'm making news now, but we get line names, and it's about who you were during the process of becoming a woman of Alpha Kappa Alpha.
In order to understand the game, first you must understand who the players are. Because if you don't know the players, you're not going to completely understand the game that you are watching. And the game that we are watching on TV is race hustling. Now, Sunny Hostin, I didn't know she was an AKA. So she lacks objectivity in this issue with Kamala Harris. Of course, she's going to side with her soror on this, much like the Greeks do. Far be it from something outrageous or incendiary, then people may begin to separate themselves from nonsense and foolishness and carrying on like that. But in this case, she has a vested interest in promoting Kamala Harris, whether she actually agrees with her or not. But obviously in this case, she's going to agree with Kamala Harris. She's not going to upset the masses of the AKA community just to make a political point or represent her political ideology, which ironically happens to be on the same side of the aisle. So in closing, as I mentioned in the beginning, or as I alluded to in the beginning, Sunny Hostin, the ladies on The View, or most of the ladies on The View, Joy Reid, these people are making what I consider exorbitant, for race hustling, exorbitant amounts of money annually to sit here and keep households divided, communities divided, people divided, co-workers divided, families divided on the issue of the R word, because the R word hits a little different for everybody than it does some people. Now, when I say some people, regardless of who wins this election, Sunny Hostin, the ladies of The View, Joy Reid, short of them being removed from their jobs or doing something else, they're going to be fine. They're not dealing with the issues that most Americans in the community and most Americans in general are dealing with. So when you sit here and watch these people get all flustered and hot and sweaty over issues that you and I both know they're not directly affected by. Sunny Hostin ain't been dealing with no racism probably in the last 20, 30, 40 years of her life. So her to sit there and act like, you know, she walked outside of her job and somebody's made some racist comment to her is ridiculous. Joy Reid, the same thing. These people act like they're living the lives that some of these people live that actually are dealing with this. Now, I'm not absolving racists or people that are racist people that are the R word in this video. What I'm pointing out is, don't be a victim. Don't be indoctrinated into the school of or the ideology of victimhood, because that's ultimately what this is designed to, is to make you feel like a victim. Every time they bring up the R word, immediately you start to feel like a victim. Okay, if you think about a horror movie, think about the victim. What do you see the victim doing in horror movie? Running in the trees, can't even escape because of fear, hiding in the chainsaw closet, where all of the tools of the agricultural that they carve up the ground with and they use to cut things with, that's what they're hiding in there. Stupid stuff like that. So I didn't mean to go off the deep end, but the point I'm trying to make is, don't be fooled by this. Vote for whom you think is going to take this country in the right direction. Okay? And leave it there. Most people have made up their minds. Independents and other swing voters, they're the only ones that are left. And they're trying to use this R word to divide that community so they can split the vote. So that's all I have for you right now. I just want y'all to be up on it and don't get drawn into this foolishness, nonsense, and carrying on by the legacy/state-sponsored media and their operatives, such as the ladies of The View and MSNBC's Joy Reid and those who share their ideology. You all have a blessed day. I'm out.